Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and today I'll be doing a double reaction to Riverside. Now, I'm fairly new to Riverside and freshly on my Riverside journey, so every single song that I've listened to thus far has blown my mind in one way, shape, or form, and it feels like with every listen I get a little closer to understanding them, but further from understanding all that I already know about music theory. It feels like Riverside are just so cleanly above the majority of artists out there in terms of their music theory knowledge at the very least and genre blending, that to understand Riverside is to have a remarkable grasp of all of the individual genres that they draw from music theory and being able to string all of those things together in a sort of cohesive manner. So it's fun and challenging to listen to Riverside. That makes me super excited to check the two songs out today. We'll be listening to Wasteland and then follow it up with Big Tech Brother. Before jumping into this, a massive thank you goes to Guile Malinois the Polite for making this donation request. Thank you so much. But now, let's jump in, starting with Wasteland, which this is a live performance. My first time seeing them live. I hear the wind. We're gonna get a porcupine tree-esque soundscape right now. Steven Wilson in the back somewhere. This would be the moment where Morgan Freeman starts narrating something about the celestial bodies, the Milky Way, Andromeda. That's really pretty. This feels like it belongs in a movie. I don't know why I have chills. Do they just do like the the Vulcans? What do they do? Oh, this is in 4/4.
Wait in silence until the stars go dark.
Whoa.
My companion with your cracked, withered heart. That day's coming, I know that you're calling on me.
Why does his voice sort of sound like Johnny Cash in Hurt? I did a reaction to that song a while back on the channel, and his voice was so deep and baritone. I'm getting similar feelings with this performance.
I know that you're calling on me. That day's coming, I know that you're calling on me. I don't want you to make me wait too long. It's time to get on the road.
The flourish.
Hafted colors, the residues of my soul, cut by the wind. I'm too thirsty for love. That day's coming, I know that you're calling on me.
Dude, what genre is this? Somehow in my brain this feels like a unique combination of folk, of western, of prog, all in one. I don't get it.
I know that you're calling on me.
It's my first time hearing something like this.
That day's coming, I know that you're calling on me.
Even for Riverside, this
I
is
don't
new.
want you to make me wait too long. It's time to get on the road.
That's their lead tone. It's also super interesting, this bass tone here. It almost feels like an acoustic guitar the way it's mixed here, but it is a bass. There is that bassy spring. Hear all the cloud of noise around. Oh no. I'm loving that there's this like back and forth between these two sections, but the overall delivery of everything that's being played, it feels so casual. Do you guys get that vibe from their performance? The time manipulation there. I feel like we're about to dissolve and descend into madness. is like medieval prog. I don't know how better to describe it. But it's like elevated. But also Western. I don't. Wow, he's playing the parallel melody here. Oh, the bass. See, this performance has been dominating so much in the lows with the bass, with the guitar, with this just really chunky, heavy, but also dialed in riff that when it brightens up, it creates such a different contrast. Though they feel like they belong to the same song, it's unlike anything you really ever hear. It is just like chaos to the average listener. I think if you're probably enjoying Riverside, then you are not an average listener. You are probably above average, which it's like 3 inches, right? That's above average. You probably are a wonderful listener with a lot of anyways. I really think this contrast that we hear between the lows and the highs in these sections, it's just not even it's not even like expected for the prog listener. I don't know, man. I'm lost in the sauce now. Like within the snap of a finger, it brightens up. Super cool. Super cool, super unique. It's hard to define that genre, even the style that I was hearing, because it kept switching. It would get dark, it would brighten up, it would go into this like Western feel, it would go into a sci-fi section. We started almost like in an acoustic kind of world. Well, not fully acoustic, more like in the follow-up section to that like long synth soundscape intro. It's still hard for me to even describe like what I'm hearing. And for a song titled Wasteland, I can definitely imagine this song somehow being used for like one of those post-apocalyptic Wasteland-esque movies. Or even like, I don't know, that game Fallout 4, I think it's called. It feels like a good soundtrack for that kind of world where things are a little bit uncertain. There is a bit of hope in the musicality that we hear. And, you know, in any post-apocalyptic world, you want to cling on to a little bit of hope. Overall, it was interesting that this song, the entire time, was in 4/4, which, having listened to a fair share of prog these days and Riverside, 4/4 is like a blessing because it's hard to decipher rhythmically what's going on. So this song, from a rhythmic perspective, felt very attainable, which I'm always a fan of, which then shifts my focus towards the soundscape and the melodies there. Somehow they felt obvious yet unintuitive. And that's the hallmark for great creative writing, is where it feels like the listener has heard it many times before, but for some odd reason, I'm now truly hearing it for the first time here. Does that make sense? I'll flesh out my thoughts more. Let's give it another listen. So we're going to be checking out Big Tech Bro right now by Riverside, back to back. Let's do this.
Hello, listener. If you want to hear the next song, you must first agree to terms and conditions.
Okay.
It won't hurt. Well, at least not now. Maybe later. Thank you for your cooperation.
It won't hurt now, maybe later. Maybe we get a bit of a Tool kind of feel. I'm down. I don't know what time signature. Oh, my brain is already hurting. Bro, this is like a dark, jazzy combination of like Tool, Dream Theater, Riverside. I don't even know. That's a cool feel.
Sound to choose ignorance. I've nothing to hide. You say it's all okay and fine.
This is cool.
Being tracked, being passed, being mined, modified, being used, being searched, being lied to, monetized. All that we've got is not for free at all. When this life for everyone becomes too hard,
Oh, that's beautiful.
what we must give in return is a bit too much. Mass control, 84, brave new world. I'm free roam, I'm free roam. Material service.
Dude, I have chills literally all over my body. I feel like a newborn baby right now listening to Riverside because the sound is so fresh, and I listen to a lot of music. The songs from Riverside, every single one of them I've heard have been so unique. It is remarkable to me for one band to have achieved so many distinct, unique sounds, and they all sound uniquely good, which is what's interesting about it. It's almost like we're discovering new flavors. Like, for the longest time, right, you have like salty, sweet, savory, all those good flavors, and then like umami all of a sudden exists, and you didn't know it existed, and it is a unique flavor. It does sometimes feel like a combination of the others, like, multiple primary colors blended, but it is not that simple. It's a little bit more complicated, and it still tastes and sounds and feels good. I just don't have the vocabulary to express why. Let's just keep listening. But this is real cool. Even tuning it down there, that small little choice, so surprised. And great bass tone throughout this whole thing.
We have the right to defend ourselves. We have the right to not accept self-consciousness. This is where we could start. Being constantly assessed, profiled, sorted, measured. Just choke on if it's lost. I've nothing to hide. I simply hate your style.
Oh my god. This is mind-blowing
But
to
I
me.
know I failed again.
Every decision they're making is so unpredictable.
There's a numbness on my face. Mass control, 84, brave new world. I'm free roam, I'm free material. I've nothing to hide.
Wow. There is like not one simple way I can describe this band. There are just so many individual elements that are all seamlessly, as I mentioned at the very beginning, strung together in a way that feels obvious, yet of course it isn't. And doing like the due diligence to like truly unpack a song like this, try to learn its structure, what's happening rhythmically, what's happening melodically, all of the above. I mean, it is a monumental task, and I can't believe they've created such a unique set of sounds that all work perfectly together. It's not just like the fact that it is unique and novel for the sake of novelty, right? Sometimes, artists like to do that. They create new sounds that are different, but different isn't always better. In this case, different is is better, is amazingly unique. It is worth deciphering these songs more in depth. I don't know, I feel like my reaction today was kind of useless to you all because I have nothing truly insightful to add, because my mind is just repeatedly getting blown over and over and over again. One thing that I did notice, which maybe has stuck out to you across your listening to Riverside, maybe in these like final like climactic sections, you usually hear these like soaring string synth kind of sounds above, and usually below something interesting is happening rhythmically that kind of fits almost like a weird time signature, but it's more about the subdivisions underneath being housed by this larger melodic legato umbrella. So if you imagine all those synths soaring above, they kind of persist, they last across many multiple measures and create these awe-inspiring kind of layers in the mix. And then underneath it, there goes my camera, underneath it you have either like a cool heavy electric guitar riff or bass chunks or drum fills and rhythms that follow suit. And those subdivisions are unique in that you can't easily identify the one of the measure for those subdivisions, but it feels all well contained because of that legato umbrella. That's just the way it feels to me. I'm sure there's like a more technical way to describe all of that. In a sense, it's almost like polyrhythm, though the overlying legato structure is, in a sense, a bit of like a droning note. But these are like droning notes that slide between pitches in this unique scale. I like the continual like back and forth between the different genres in this song. It felt like we got a lot of elements of digital, a lot of like hard rock, almost like electronic. I almost expected at a certain moment for like the dubstep bass to kind of drop and send us into an entirely different genre. Though we didn't get a full switch into dubstep, the style of music that Riverside creates kind of allows their music to be remixed at least into dubstep, which I think is really cool. When I was younger, I definitely, one of my formative genres was dubstep, believe it or not. And I would listen to that. The rhythms were always so complex. The polyrhythms that at that time I didn't understand would blast off in my ear and take me over the edge once the melody climaxed. I get a similar sort of novel vibe from Riverside, but even with more years of experience with music and understanding theory, Riverside are defying that expectation that I have for music. They stand in the face of that and they say, Sohum, you have a lot more to learn. So I'm absolutely down to do more reactions to Riverside on the channel. If you would like to send a request my way, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. That's the best way to support my channel. But in any case, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.